not comply. Words to live by from the Daily Mojo.
Oh, it's incredible. Go ahead.
3, 2, 1.
None of the individuals you prosecuted were ever charged with being part of a hoax or a fraud or a witch hunt or a politically motivated deep state conspiracy against Donald Trump. Isn't that correct?
I would not say that that's accurate.
You mean you did charge somebody with being a part of a hoax?
We charged Mr. Sussman with having knowingly provided false information to the FBI regarding Alpha Bank.
But he was acquitted, though, right?
Well, that wasn't your question.
Mr. Sussman was acquitted after you charged him, correct?
Grand jury found
he was found innocent by a unanimous jury of 12.
That's not true.
Well,
what's true is the grand jury found probable cause to indict Mr. Sussman.
A jury of his peers acquitted him, though, correct?
And a trial jury.
You're not going to disagree on that, are you, Mr. Durham?
I'm going to try to answer your question as soon as asked.
Well, let me ask you this.
Hank Johnson, and for those of you who don't remember Hank Johnson from Guam, he's the one who said
Guam was going to flip over.
On the widest part of the island. And I don't know how many square miles that is. Do you happen to know?
I don't have that figure with me, sir. I can certainly supply it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
What the hell?
Same dude.
So just a little background, because of my medical training and experience. I this one kind of threw me. I thought, because what she's talking about is something that all of us have gotten all our lives, but maybe it's factual. I mean, Candace wouldn't lie, would she? Go ahead.
No, just ask Steven Crowder. 3, 2, 1.
Our child steps on a rusty nail. In 1947, about 144 million people lived in the United States. The first year that tetanus became reportable nationally in the United States, in that same year, the rate of reported cases was 3.9 per every 1 million of the population. So that is around 562 cases of tetanus. Your chance of dying from tetanus in America before they rolled out this visa to save your lives was 0.000328%. I'll take my chances, I think.
Now, as a medical professional, you agree with her assessment?
Well, it's up for discussion, because when I started practicing medicine, it was an already foregone conclusion that tetanus was bad. That to prevent it, but not as bad as they say. If that's a fact, what she's laying out from the CDC is.
Oh, you mean as widespread?
It's not as bad. Why have something that gets 500 odd people out of a million? Why risk it? Because there are inherent risks with any kind of knees. So why risk it? What was the big push to put this into some people who didn't really need it overall? We don't snake it in, trip and falls. We don't get in against, stupid things.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Why do they call it lockjaw?
Because it locks the masseter muscle.
Say it locks your jaw, so your jaw gets locked. That doesn't sound like
I don't
fun.
know the physiology, but the masseter muscle is the one that chews. Strongest muscle in your body, by the way.
The master what muscle?
Masseter, or the sternocleidomastoid. Yeah, masseter. Yep.
The masseter.
You want to see me do that again?
A good masseter. Ron's a.
He's like,
that's a good one. I like that one. Now I want to, and you know what? Here, this is how giving I am, despite the fact that the two of you ganged up on me. I say that we give young David a couple of minutes after.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because he did, after all, provide the gifts for the giveaway today. So I think it's fitting that we invite him back here right after the break. Because also something I wanted to bring up about tetanus, because somebody in the little chat there said, "Hey, it's a low probability that you get it, but it's a brutal death." Now I want to know how you can die from tetanus. I want to know, I mean, what, like, do you like lock up in a fetal position and you starve to death? Well, we'll find out. That and more next on the Daily Mojo.
Stand back.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
This thing is gonna get huge. The Daily Mojo.
All right, quick check-in with the people over on the Twitterverse. Dr. Mojo Martian, who, again, is a doctor, granted from another planet, but what she's failing to understand or say is greater than 90% of unvaccinated people who get tetanus die. Just Tony, someone stop David G. before Hank Johnson is out there pushing for a vaccine against tripping and falling. Don't give them ideas. That's a really good point. I mean, that's how they come up with. Coog says, my daughter does for her kids, too. I'm sure there's more context for that, but Coog says bullshit. Cougs is never one to pull a punch, by the way. She will tell you like it is. So tetanus, because honestly, that's one of those things where you got to have your tetanus shot, especially if you step on a rusty nail.
Yeah.
Because tetanus lives in the dirt, right?
Right. And any kind of contaminated wound, gunshot wounds where it pulls in fragments of your clothing, other things, war wounds, anything that's contaminated that could have it on there. And that's the conventional wisdom. And what I was saying is, from my point of view, I never knew anything different. It was always, we always get your tetanus shot. You keep it up to date.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
But
I'm with you on that.
You could make the argument if you wanted to discuss it. And I'm not saying don't get it or get it. It's up to you. But if the number of people who get it, even though the death is gruesome, well, I mean, so is smoking cigarettes, but it's not illegal. So it was just a thought. I thought, well, this is odd. I never heard that. I thought it would be much more prevalent, that many more people got it. Why? What was the input to get a shot?
She's according to the World Health. Take the consider the source, World Health Organization. In 2015, about 34,000 newborns died from neonatal tetanus, a 96% reduction since 1988, largely due to scaled-up immunization with TTCV. But again, it's the world. I don't trust anything anybody says anymore is the problem.
But the context is also where we are. If we're in the United States, if the percentage is super low because we're clean and nice and beautiful people, but in Delhi, India, Bombay, wherever, or in Cambodia, it sucks and they kill people. Well, it's not all the same. One size doesn't fit all.
We don't have to get malaria, or whatever the hell, anthrax.
No, we don't take prophylaxis for malaria stuff. We only do it when we're in areas endemic with malaria.
You do if you don't want to get pregnant. All right, couple left here. The next one from the liberals enjoying life, and it's always
entertaining for these morons to come up against the wall and just punch them right in the throat. So.
3, 2, 1.
Companies can pay women less. Yes. Why don't they hire all women?
Well, that's a whole nother story.
Really?
I understand your argument, and I understand that you're angry.
I'm not angry.
I can hear it in your voice.
I'm not angry.
Your voice.
I'm hearing my voice, and I sound pretty calm.
You have now shifted the quality of your voice, and I thank you for that.
Okay.
And you've just given me a condescending look, and that's another reason why we need feminism. And now I'm done. And thank you so much.
What the hell just happened? That was crazy.
Yes.
I'm so happy I'm not married to her. Oh dear God.
And the cherry on top of that is, and thank you so much, which is wherever she lives is the equivalent to bless your heart. It's go elf yourself.
Yes.
And I just love that
Thank
one.
you so much.
And usually my response is that, oh, you didn't mean it. You meant to tell me to go F off. And they go, what? And then I've told people that a number of times.
Right.
Oh, don't be a coward. Don't be a wussy. You meant to tell me to F off. So
right. At least have the cojones to say it. Up next is the ivermectin with Cooper Anderson.
I don't know. This is I hope this doesn't get old. The reason it's what do you guys call it? Evergreen or something. It's always relevant. It's always relevant. Okay. Don't forget this point. Hit it.
3, 2, 1.
He mentioned ivermectin is something more often used to deworm horses.
We should talk about that.
That bothered you.
It should bother you, too. They're lying at your network about people taking human drugs versus drugs for veterinary.
Calling it a horse dewormer is not a flattering thing. I get that.
It's a lie.
They shouldn't have said that.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
You're the medical guy over there.
Ivermectin can be a very effective medication.
And I know there's more, but that was
Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to keep going.
Need to die from taking Tylenol.
Oh, should I wait? Sorry.
Well, how much time do we have? And I'll answer your question.
You got a minute or two.
Let's talk then. So it goes on, and it makes the distinction between the veterinary medicine and the human medicine, and that the leftist media was pushing all of the the veterinary medicine and using that as here it is. Look, you can't take this. This is why this is made for horses, for example. Well, no kidding, Sherlock. It was, but we're not talking about that. They use ivermectin more for humans than they do animals, but that point was never brought up.
And for immigrants, that was like on the list of you had to be an immigrant into this country, you had to have doses of ivermectin. I mean, it was
because
that was it was because Trump said ivermectin. Right,
but the point, well, actually, the deeper dive is you can't do an emergency. The EPA, not EPA, the CDC. What's the emergency use authorization? You cannot do an emergency use authorization if there is a current treatment. It has to have no treatment. So they did that so that they could do the untold. People get blown away how much money.
That's right. I forgot about that. You're absolutely right. It is all, and again, these are all the lies that we were told. It's amazing when you stop and think, you were right, because you and I had the question about the jab at the beginning, and I was like, but I think we were, and I'm still having a hard time with the whole population control thing, but I think it did have that, it had to do with that as well. Population control and money.
The money's staggering. They got those pharmaceutical companies got paid tax dollars and then turned around and charged the government for for those meds. So we paid one way and the other, out in and out. It's just phenomenal. So,
repeatedly.
Anyway.
It was like tortoise sex. By the way, so that's the sound the tortoises make when they are making. Was that a fact? Yeah, I've seen the pictures of those making sweet love. All right, we got time for this last one from Nurse Michelle. This is dude with a shirt on.
Yeah, it's a good listen to. Go ahead.
3, 2, 1.
Activists, when you criticize Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney, more often than not, say, why do you care? It doesn't affect you, except it does. Do you know how many times I've had my advertisers harassed by the trans community because I'm not down with their agenda? Or Jack Phillips, the baker in Colorado, his bakery was shut down again because he didn't want to bake a cake for a transition ceremony and now has to go to the Supreme Court? Or even Barronelle Stutzman, who didn't want to supply flowers for a gay wedding and has been put out of business by the state of Washington. Or the professor in New England who was fired because she didn't want to use pronouns. Or the teachers around the country who have been disciplined for not using pronouns. The churches that have been harassed and raided by transgender activists in the middle of church services. Those things actually happen in this country. People are losing jobs. Kids are being bullied for refusing. They even had a guy thrown out of a Pokemon competition because he used pronouns but didn't seem sincere in his use. You're damn right it affects me and everyone else when the bullies of the transgender community try to shut us down and punish us because of their insanity.
And there you have it.
Of activists, when you criticize.
That's truly, and he did a good job of explaining that too, because when people say, well, it doesn't affect me. But yeah, we've been attacked by the same group of people who are, and especially when it comes to the Bud Light, it doesn't affect me. Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah. And it does, even if you're not involved, it's coming to your home, to your school, to your town. That kind of stuff, if it's not checked, is going to overrun us because we've got a significant minority causing major influence in our lives. Oh, it doesn't affect you. It does, or it will. There's some kitschy phrase where if you don't stand up now, you
got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
Yeah, but you say it at the end of the show, or you did. There was something we hang together or separately.
Oh,
that
Benjamin Franklin. We must all hang together, otherwise we shall surely hang separately.
And if we don't do it now, they're going to separate. They're going to divide, conquer us, and we're going to hang on our own separate trees. Kaboom.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And that's why, again, that's the whole purpose of the Daily Mojo, is to have our little meeting where people can, get together and say stuff that isn't politically correct and giggle about it, but also that we know that there is a larger group of us out there scattered to the four winds, but we are still together. And we have to know that we can reach out to each other and be a big old happy family.
We better do it.
Dysfunctional as it may be.
The scales might have already overbalanced and we might be in the downslide, but for God's sake,
we might be tipping over just like Guam. We may be going into the ocean with Hank Johnson.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's so sad.
And he's in Washington. All right, there he is. Oh yeah, you give your little plug for Insta and Tool School. Don't forget.
Hey, you got your damn free shirts. Go over to Instagram and follow and like and tell me how cool I am. And if you want to see, whatever you want to see, I'll try and get content. Oh, and YouTube. There's a good YouTube Tool School with a K, TOOL SKOOL. Got YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Golly, you're like on the cutting edge of societal social media.
That. Yeah, and if there's something cool you want to talk about or have me do, I'll strip down to my Speedo and I'll prance around and do whatever.
You look the same in all those pictures. That's pretty amazing.
He does, doesn't he?
He's got that same look on his face. It's really, it's like tic-tac-toe right there. It's you did get new glasses. I like this. Good for you.
Yeah,
good for you.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right.
Do they make those glasses in a men's style too, or just?
You bet.
Or just those.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
I don't really like these. I got new lenses in the other one, so I had to wear these. My Ray-Bans are kind of cool. Yeah. So.
Are they Wayfarers?
Is Wednesday all right? Is Wednesday a good day? Is it going to be a good day?
Yes. It's going to be a great day. Yes.
What else is on the agenda?
Oh, I don't know. We have to get rid of you first, then we find out. It's our secret discussion.
We usually just play the music and hit off.
Yes, but we gave you extra time today, so we've gone out of format. Yeah. Ron doesn't know how to just hit the button to make you disappear, apparently.
All right, bye, Dave.
Just
love
hit
you.
The damn button.
Bye, Dave.
Hit the button.
The First Amendment.
Did you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do.
Lives here. Watch and listen at thedailymojo.com.